Now to another big story we're following for you tonight. The nation's leader addressing a move by the courts this week to temporarily seal the documents in the Baha negotiations. Mr. Christie, who is aware that there is a growing interest in the details that lead to an agreement to reconvene Baha's construction, says it was advised to be in the best interest of the country. Clint Watson tells us tonight that the Prime Minister minced no words responding to his critics following his major announcement earlier this week.
Prime Minister the Right Honourable Perry Christie says critics must think he is stupid to make a major announcement about Baha and its complexities and not be sure that the deal is sound and good for the country. Mr. Christie, who was addressing an audience at the groundbreaking for a new block of smart classrooms at BTVI, slammed critics who claim that the deal and its details, after being sealed by the Supreme Court, appears to be hiding the particulars that may have been sacrificed at the sake of an agreement with the Chinese. Leader of the opposition, Dr. Hubert Minnis, was one of the more vocal critics who condemned the move, calling for transparency. However, the Prime Minister, in responding to the opposition leader, explained why the documents were sealed.
People in public life amazes me to the point where I question their fitness to serve. Lawyers advise me that when you're dealing with a matter that is predicated on huge inflows of capital into the Bahamas as a part of the agreement, you must restrain yourself until such time as the triggers in the agreement are pulled.
Mr. Christie says while he may not want to face the attacks and name-calling he is subject to in the name of democracy, there comes a time when the country must mature for the sake of understanding the economy. The nation's leader maintains that in due time, all the details of the Baha deal will be revealed.
In all things, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. So whatever is the element of secrecy and how it intrigues people, it has to come out. It has to be published. And people will determine how could a bankruptcy turn into such a positive outcome for the people who are affected.
The original developer, Sarkis Israelian, and his company have also criticized the move, saying the Chapter 11 filing would have originally ensured that all creditors and Bahamian contractors were paid. However, Prime Minister Christie maintains that would not have happened. In fact, he says when they were in negotiations with the Chinese for Baha, the forefront of his mind was always the Bahamian people.
There was no compromise when it comes to protecting the interests of Bahamians. That is why everyone who had a franchise there and who's Bahamian had no chance in a new dispensation coming out of a bankruptcy of being able to retain the stores that they spend millions on. But every Bahamian who had an interest and spent money in there for a franchise, we have protected that for them. That's what I'm talking about, hope. We recognize that in a democratic country there will be divisions, but we don't allow those divisions to go so deep that they challenge the humanity of our country.
Mr. Christie says the nature of a democratic country like ours is anyone at any given time can be called to lead and would hope to have the support of others. He warns against those who oppose just for the sake of opposing, as one day they too may have the opportunity to lead. Clint Watson, ZNS Network News.
3 days ago, the Prime Minister made a statement to the nation regarding the successful outcome of the Baha negotiations. In his statement, the Prime Minister highlighted many of the details of that agreement. The fact that construction at Baha will be resumed as quickly as possible. The fact that the China Exim Bank has committed to fund all remaining construction costs to complete Baha. The fact that the government is making every effort to ensure that the casino and casino hotel, the convention center and its hotel, and the golf course will open before the end of the 2016-2017 winter season. The fact that the thousands of former Bahamian employees of Baha will receive the following outstanding amounts due to them: unpaid salaries, severance pay, accrued vacation pay, and notice payments due to termination. The fact that additionally sums deducted from employees and former employee salaries and pension contributions will be repaid. The fact that funds will be made available to enable Bahamian creditors and contractors to receive a significant part and possibly all of the value of their claims. The fact that Bahamians holding commercial leases and concessions will be permitted to continue to hold them. The fact that many of the same people and companies who were previously contracted will be re-engaged to complete the project. The fact that the government of the Bahamas and the Bahamian utility companies, such as Bahamas Power and Light, will receive payment for some of their outstanding claims against the Bahamar companies. The fact that the government will extend appropriate concessions to facilitate the construction and promote the successful future operation of the Bahamar Resort. The fact that the completed project will be sold to a qualified world-class casino and casino hotel and convention center and hotel operator. Bahamar, the largest project ever of its kind in the region, is a complex commercial transaction that requires significant attention to detail. The government, together with other stakeholders, will continue to work to implement the obligations under the agreement. The government will not be distracted from its efforts and will continue to work for and on behalf of the Bahamian people. There have been allegations that the government have offered citizenships. This is false. There have been allegations that the government gave away or sold islands, and this is false. Nothing has been given by way of concessions that has not been offered before to previous investors. As the Prime Minister said in his statement, remobilization of the project will begin immediately, and this has already started. The Prime Minister also said construction will begin next month, and preparation is already underway. It is important to note that the Bahamar Group of companies are the subject of liquidation proceedings governed and supervised by the Supreme Court. The full details of the agreement that enables remobilization were revealed to the court. The file in the matter has been sealed by order of the court. This is usual in matters of this kind, so that sensitive negotiations may proceed and conclude in an orderly fashion in the public interest. Arrangements for the transfer and the payout of creditor, including employee claims, are currently being finalized. In the coming days, further announcements will be made as to how employees and creditors may submit their claims.